Thanks for being with us here on Atlanta News First Plus. I want to take you right to some videos showing some protests happening overnight as we continue to follow the latest that's happening really around the country and obviously right here in Georgia as well. This is what you're looking at right now, some protests at Ohio State University, and this is part of what we've been seeing all around the nation. Hundreds of people, particularly on college campuses, protesting the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza. And we've talked a little bit to you about what's been happening at Emory University. I'm going to get to that in just a moment. But again, that is just some of the footage from Ohio State, the brand new video showing police clashing with protesters there. And let me show you now this video from Columbia University as well. And obviously this shows some of the protests in Columbia University in New York City, which continues to be really the epicenter. And you see all the signs there. End all U.S. aid to Israel is what some of the signs are saying. Free Palestine, which obviously Palestine is not a place at this moment, but many people feel that it should be, that the Palestinian people should have their own state. And so a deadline for demonstrators to clear out has come and gone, but the university's president there at Columbia is saying that the police are not being called to clear the tents. And meanwhile, let me just show you what we were reporting to you about here in Georgia at Emory State, at Emory University, excuse me, students at Emory University here. And I apologize, I need to change these graphics, multitasking here. But let me also show you a live look as well. I'm trying to get you a live look. Maria, are we able to do the live look that you guys were requesting inside the courtroom? Sorry. Because we are expecting some of the protesters from Emory University to be in court today. So let me show you this. This is a feed, a Zoom court appearance that's set up at a magistrate court. And this is pretty common now, actually, that people are arraigned remotely. Now that kind of post-COVID, many of these arraignments do happen remotely. So what we're looking at is an arraignment happening for, or at least an initial court appearance for protesters at Emory University. And it obviously has now hit the national spotlight, what happened on campus there. Again, clashing between protesters and police, and again, related to the Israel-Hamas war. I want to get to, and I should mention, at least 28 arrests were made, many of these defendants, if not all, in court. So I want to now get to a report prepared by Atlanta News First reporter Rebecca Schramm with a little bit more context on what happened.
Emory is a private university, so not just anyone can be here on campus. They also have rules about noise levels. During the protests yesterday, Georgia State Patrol ended up tasing one man who refused to leave and then resisted arrest. They say they also used pepper balls to disperse the crowd. Take a look. Several students, non-students, professors, even a department chair were arrested on campus while protesting the war between Israel and Hamas. Later in the day, there was a Passover gathering of Jewish students and community members outside an Israeli-owned shop just off campus. Things got tense there when a pro-Palestinian supporter showed up and started shouting at the group from across the street. Then back on campus, clashes continued between students and police. We spoke with people on both sides. You're about to hear from one protester who's not a student. He drove from Duluth to join the pro-Palestinian protest. But first, we asked a Jewish student here at Emory if she feels safe with all this tension.
I don't at all. The anger, the tension is boiling over and someone's going to get hurt. I really do feel that way.
We have to actually put, action to our words. And if we don't do that, then who are we, right? And I care about that. I care about action. We have to do something. We can't just believe things. We have to take action.
Georgia politicians are on opposite sides of what happened here at Emory. Republicans praising the show of force, Democrats denouncing it. We'll be watching to see if there are more protests today. At Emory University in Atlanta, Rebecca Schramm, Atlanta News First.
And thank you so much to Rebecca for that report. Again, just showing you this live look here. We're going to follow the latest as this as this gets underway, and I can see that Suri Chata Jimenez, who is a frequent guest analyst for us here on Atlanta News First, is actually appears to be representing someone at this hearing. So maybe we can talk to him, but later on in the day. But of course, we're going to keep our eyes on what's happening for this first court appearance for these protesters who were arrested at the Emory University campus. And you know, it's something that is going to continue to unfold, and like I've been sharing with you, you know, these protests happening all across the nation. You know, just for context here, because there's been so much that has happened. The war has been going on since October 7th, after more than 1,200 men, women, and children were killed in an attack on Israel that is believed to be driven by Hamas, and that is really what precipitated all of this. And since then, according to the Gaza Health Ministry, which I should say is run by Hamas, more than 30,000 people have been killed in Gaza. So that includes men, women, and children, according to them, you know, Palestinians. And it's something that, of course, there's a lot of emotion about on many sides. We'll keep following that. Let's turn now to the issue of social media, particularly for children. So there is a new law to protect your kids from social media dangers by limiting access in schools right now. You know, not everyone is on the same page about this. Not everyone's on board. Atlanta News First reporter Abby Kasoris explains how the new rules will work.
Big changes coming in how kids can use social media apps like Facebook, Snapchat, and TikTok. The Protecting Kids from Social Media Act requires that schools create a new social media policy, teaching kids about the dangers of social media and limiting what sites they use in the classroom. Anyone under the age of 18 looking to make an account will now need their parent to sign off.
I can be 13 right now and go on TikTok. But I know 8-year-olds and 10-year-olds, second graders that are on TikTok, and they just have to click the checkbox and go on TikTok.
You can hear the passion in Nathaniel De Silva's voice.
All around me, people are just glazed over, scrolling Instagram, scrolling Snapchat, and I was like, I have to do something.
As a high school freshman, he says social media is impacting the mental health of his classmates. He worked with his state representative, Scott Hilton, on the bill, testifying before intimidating committees, hoping for this moment. De Silva in the crowd for the bill signing, along with state Republicans. The Georgia First Amendment Foundation losing out on a hard-fought fight to stop the legislation.
I think there are major issues about enforcement. How are you going to get kids to voluntarily say that they're under 18? That's one. And if they lie, what are we going to do? Put them in prison?
Richard Griffith says instead of protecting children, it's putting children at risk.
You can immediately get the name, email, and age of the kid, and that's giving up a lot of detail that we don't think large tech companies should be getting their hands on.
He says leave social monitoring to parents, not the state. These new changes will take effect during the 2025-2026 school year. Schools will be able to use software or servers to block the sites in the classroom. And if a student is seen on one of those sites or looking at obscene material, the teacher can take away their device. In Atlanta, I'm Abby Kasoris.
Thanks so much to Abby for that report. Okay, let's talk about this weather out here. It's beautiful. Here we are with First Alert meteorologist Rodney Harris, and he has a look at this gorgeous forecast.
And good morning to you, Joy. Happy Friday, everybody. We hope that you're having a good day so far. We do have some changes today compared to yesterday especially, but not too bad. I think we'll get through the weekend just fine here across Metro Atlanta. So here we are. Hope you guys are off to a good start to your day. What you see on the right-hand side of your screen, those are your current temperatures, 72 degrees right now in Atlanta, a little bit warmer as you go further south. What I really want to do is talk about the high temperatures today because it's going to be a little bit different compared to what we saw yesterday. So, as you can see on this map, when you go into northeast Georgia, we're talking to you in Blairsville, basically the higher elevations of the mountains, your highs are only in the 60s today. That's where you see that green. The reason why it's cooler in the mountains is because we do do have cooler air that's literally moving in from the northeast. So the further north and east you go from Metro Atlanta, the cooler it will be. It's called a wedge or backdoor cool front. The further south and west you go from the mountains, the warmer it will be. So yesterday's high in Atlanta was 80 degrees. Today we're forecasting 77, but I will point out that this front, this little backdoor front, looks like it's going to set up like right over Metro Atlanta. So even though we're forecasting a high of 77, depending on where that front sets up, that could change. So right now the temperatures drop like after you leave Metro Atlanta, but it's possible that it may even be cooler than that later on this afternoon. As you go south and west of Atlanta, 80 in Carrollton, 83 in LaGrange. So that's unbelievable. We're talking about the 60s in the mountains for highs, and just down the road in LaGrange, 83 degrees. But that's what a cold front will do for you in the springtime. So that's our situation today. You don't have to worry about any rain with this particular front. We did have some showers out there earlier this morning in the mountains, but that has almost completely dissipated. Most of the shower activity is in North Carolina. So one thing you'll definitely notice throughout the course of the day today is more clouds. You already saw that when you stepped out the door this morning. It'll remain mostly cloudy for the rest of the day. So unlike Thursday, where there was a lot of sunshine, more clouds today, but it will stay dry in Metro Atlanta, at least today. Now, getting into Saturday, we do have a 20% chance of showers that we've added to your forecast Saturday, especially from Atlanta eastward. This is not a lot of precipitation, so definitely keep your plans. But just know that if you see a passing shower or two, especially in East Georgia throughout Saturday afternoon, don't be surprised by that. So that's what we're looking for this weekend. Otherwise, it's a really nice weekend. 77 is the high today, 76 is the high on Saturday. The normal for this time of year is 76 degrees, so we're right at average for this time of year. Sunday, 81 degrees, so we'll see a little bit more sunshine on Sunday, which is certainly good. And then next week, much warmer temperatures, 84 degrees on Monday, 85 degrees on Tuesday and Wednesday, and up to 87 degrees on Thursday. So we're pushing 90 degrees by the end of next week. So if you like the 70s, enjoy the weekend, because we do start to see warmer temperatures next week. We also have a 20% chance of showers in your forecast starting Tuesday. We're at that time of year where we're going to get these cold fronts that are going to try to move into North Georgia, and I talked about this yesterday. They're going to start slowing down. The cold fronts are going to start to get weaker as we start to get closer to the summertime. So that's sort of what's happening next week. Typically, the cold front would approach us, move through, we get a really good shot of rain, and then it'll pass on by. But the cold front next week is just going to kind of hang out, and it's going to struggle to move through, which is why our rain chances are so low and are mainly north of the state of Georgia. But that's something we'll be watching for you, low end rain chances for the middle of next week. We do believe that most of this 7-day forecast will be a pretty decent one. Most of us will stay dry with highs in the 70s to low 80s, and we'll keep you up to date on any changes as we go through your weekend. Right here, or in the First Alert Weather app, rather. I will point out before we go that if you're going to head out to see the Braves, your forecast is looking really good for the Braves at Truist Park or the Battery, whether you're headed out tonight, Saturday night, or Sunday afternoon. Absolutely no rain is forecast whatsoever. Temperatures will be pleasant in the 70s for the most part. You'll notice clouds out there if you're at Truist Park, but again, it will stay dry. So if you're headed out to see the Braves this weekend, you are in good shape. We hope that you have a great weekend, have a great Friday, and until next time, we'll see you soon.